There is tech drama happening right now as we speak. Google CEO Sundar Pichai is testifying on Capitol Hill right now. And apparently, what started out with just a few minutes of calm as Pichai gave his opening remarks immediately turned tense, shall we say. This is all just coming in, so I'm trying to follow it for you as we continue through the show. And obviously, we can break this down a little bit better on tomorrow's show. But he did say that Google operates, quote, without political bias. That was part of his opening comments. He also said that Google's, neutrality is important to the company, that they work to provide accurate, trusted information. He said, quote, to do otherwise would go against our core principles and our business interests, unquote. He went on to say, we are a company that provides platforms for diverse perspectives and opinions, and there is no shortage of them among our own employees. But then just minutes into the whole thing, Pichai was kind of right in the middle of a partisan war, Republicans alleging that they have been censored. Democrats saying, no, that is, quote, fantasy and a right-wing conspiracy theory. So apparently this is quite the drama unfolding there on Capitol Hill. And adding, of course, to this drama is that some of Google's conservative critics are there at the hearing and are ready to fight. Apparently, Alex Jones, the conspiracy theorist that's been banned from YouTube, is there. He's sitting 5 rows behind Pichai, along with Roger Stone, who we've heard a lot about of late, also a big conspiracy theorist and an ally of Alex Jones. And also, allegedly, before all this happened, before the testimony even began, Alex Jones was sort of, on his own soapbox, holding court essentially outside the hearing room, shouting that Google had violated his rights to free speech. So this is the debate that we've been having. They're having it right now with sort of these key players. I kind of wish I was there. And also I wish I could, talk to them myself, like get right in their faces. But this is a debate we've been having ongoing on this show, I want to say, for years now, which is about whether or not these platforms are just platforms and anybody can go on them and say whatever they want and it's not the platform's problem. Or, as we are hearing more and more now, that they need to be regulated and they need to have some ownership and responsibility for the content that is being aired there. And I think it's very easy to make the comparison between a Google and a Facebook and a Twitter and any of them with traditional media. And if you look at the amount of regulation that is placed on traditional media in terms of what we can and cannot say and what we must divulge, for example, when political ads are placed on traditional media, they have to be labeled clearly with who has paid for the ad. It's part of the rules. It must, when you see an ad on television, you know how you always see at the end the little fine print and you hear the voice saying, this ad has been paid for by the Nick Bean Association or whatever it is. I just threw you right under the bus, Nick Bean. Right. So this ad that says Dana Barrett stinks was paid for by Nick Bean. Like that, you have to do that. That's the rule. But that rule does not exist on social media. It does not exist on the internet right now. And so, this is a conversation that if you equate those two things, I think is really obvious. There's a reason why those rules went into place in traditional media, because of the danger of allowing people to be misled by, rogue groups. And if you're going to allow a rogue group to place an ad, then they have to at least say who they are. So you can still have your freedom of speech, but you have to have that transparency in the media that goes with it. And I think that is what most people who are calling for regulation are looking for on the internet side. They're not saying, shut down free speech, but they're also saying, in the case of ads, tell us who put the ad there. And apparently Facebook and Google and some of these others are suggesting that it's too difficult. They can't do it because these ads are all, you can place an ad. I can place an ad right here sitting at my computer without ever talking to anybody or them really knowing who the heck I am. So they're trying to use automated ways of validating their advertisers, and that's where it's not working. They got to figure it out. Now, when it comes to the content itself and their algorithms for search and all of that, that's a whole other question. They base all of that on how much something is searched for. I mean, most of what comes up, either it's an ad and it's paid for and it's at the top, or people are using SEO and they have their own algorithms to determine how popular something is. And that's why it bubbles up first or second or third or 10th or whatever. So obviously it's all very complex, but I do really doubt that there are parts of the algorithm that say if it leans this way or it leans that way, don't put it first. They don't care enough to do that. They care about making money. They don't. This is not what they are focused on. And then last but not least, you have these situations with this, Alex Jones type of character, with these folks who are on social media that are spewing conspiracy theories and or spewing hate speech or some combination of both, and whether or not people like that should be banned. And that gets into not a data security or a cybersecurity issue, but a personal security issue. This is where you have people able to communicate and stir up others to commit mass shootings. And so, do you allow that or not? Alex Jones has said some pretty terrible things. And, I, for one, am glad he's banned from all of these platforms. I think he should have been banned from that room, honestly. But, I didn't make the decision there. So, in any case, I got off onto that whole tangent there because Google CEO Sundar Pichai is testifying right now, and it is apparently quite fraught, the testimony. There's a lot of angst and partisan stress going on in